The KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Bang, it's Friday morning. Bang, it's January 17th. Happy birthday, Rosemary. And bang, let's get on with it. She's like, don't talk about it. So there, I said it. It's over. She's still
definitely
asleep.
not up this early, right?
She's still asleep. It doesn't matter. Let's get to your top 5 at 6 for a Friday. We're going to start with a couple of drags, man. What a bummer. Bob Uecker died yesterday. He was 90 years old. He had a hell of a run, but it's just sad knowing the world lost Bob Uecker, a Major League Baseball player, allegedly, who's in the bigs from 62 to 67. But boy, it was after retirement that he got on that microphone that the legend grew. I first saw Bob Uecker, like most Americans outside of the upper Midwest, in a Miller Lite ad in the late 70s or early 80s. And immediately, I kid you not, one time seeing his first Miller beer ad, and I was like, I love that guy. Who is he?
Yeah.
What is that dude? That's one of the rare people who just immediately just cornered a singular market, the Bob Uecker market. What an absolute joy it was every time to see that guy. I'm sure you remember the Miller Lite ad. I must be in the front row. As good as it ever got on TV commercials.
You know, one of the best things about being an ex-big leaguer is getting freebies to the game. Call the front office, bingo. And once these fans recognize me, I probably won't even have to pay for my light beer from Miller. Down it, I love them. Good seats, huh?
We're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I must be in the front row.
Come on.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
He missed the tag. He missed the tag.
In the nosebleeds. Yeah.
I love I always just love the bingo. If you have a minute today, hoist a Miller Lite in honor of Bob Uecker. Man, 90 years old after a battle with lung cancer. If you make it to your 80s, come on, lung cancer, go somewhere else. Give him a break. Cut him some slack.
I know. And sidebar, that's what television sounded like in the 1980s.
Yeah.
You know, one of the best things about being an ex-big leaguer
just like a walkie-talkie.
AM transistor radio on your TV. Fantastic. And then, of course, Major League is really when he exploded. Just a bit outside. Man, absolutely incredible. Number 4 in your top 5 at 6. We just couldn't help but notice and talk about this. Body parts that we like to lick. Let's just get right to it. There's no easy segue.
Yeah.
There's a lot of body parts that we as amorous humans love to lick, but then there's some places we really don't. And there's a poll where people are like, what's the least licked place on your body? The back of the knee, which somebody referred to as a knee pit, like your armpit, knee pit.
I'll tell you what, I'm a licker. Not like I used to be, but when I was young, it's the body's ultimate probe, right? I mean, you can only do so much with the rest of your body, but that tongue is it's a versatile muscle, and you can go everywhere and anywhere with it. And when you're young, it's time to take a walk around the body with the tongue. Yeah. And a couple of times in my life, I got to that knee pit, and let me tell you, that is over the top. All right, if you're looking to, I need a little something, we got to spice it up, go to the knee pit. It's got so many nerve endings. Yeah, because, the front of the knee, it's protected. It's like the armpit, but not as sweaty and stinky and kind of gross. But all the nerve endings from your leg that go down into the foot, you like to have your foot worked on. Everyone likes to have their foot worked on.
Sure.
All those nerve endings go back through the back of the leg. It's kind of protected back there. You get your tongue on the back of the knee, and then go ahead and email the KQ Morning Show on Monday and say, Zepp, thanks for getting me through this cold spell. We didn't get out of bed all weekend. Lick, lick, lick.
Yeah.
It's all about the knee pit. There's probably a support group out there or something, Knee Pits Anonymous, for people that just literally the sex is fine, but it's really all about the knee pit. That's when I really knew I was in love.
Yeah.
But also on the list, it should say inside the ear. As a lifelong mass producer of earwax myself, I just don't think to go inside the ear. No one wants to get near mine, so just saying. Maybe I've missed out, but I don't know.
I like to slurp on a good ear canal, but then when someone does it to me, I'm like, oh, no, I don't. You shouldn't really. Yeah. Why don't you concentrate on my knee pit? But yeah. Lots of underneath the eyelid is on here. Underneath the eyelid?
No.
Okay, that's
how?
Mr. Ryder's always trying to lick my eyeball as a joke, and I'm like, dude, knock it off.
That's funny.
You know, it's funny. You've talked a lot about him, but this is the first time I can say I'm going to look at him differently now. And I'm going to keep my glasses on when he's in the room. Number 2 on your top 5 and 6. In what can only be described as yet another perfect moment in the life and times of Bob Dylan. Let's see, this is literally days before TikTok is expected to be shut down in the United States. Bob Dylan has officially joined TikTok. Yes, indeed. The first and thus far only post on the brand new account, it says, explore the world of Bob Dylan now on TikTok. And then there's a video. It has clips from various Dylan eras, like Rolling Stone, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Hurricane, all playing in the background. Bob Dylan forever trolling all of us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you go back to his early interviews where they're talking about protest music, and you can tell he's bothered by it, and he starts punking them with protest music, with little jabs about He's always been that way, even with his audience a lot of times.
Sure.
If he just doesn't feel like, maybe you're boring him as an audience,
Yeah.
he'll go off the rails with a performance where I've almost walked out of a show. But I've been joking about this for days, but this is what makes Bob Dylan Bob Dylan. I didn't actually start a TikTok account. I just thought it was a dumbass joke that I just started a TikTok account. They're closing it down, man.
Yeah.
Why would you? But Bob Dylan did it again. Tip of the cap.
Fantastic. This is second only still on the list of times when I went, wait, what? Remember the Victoria's Secret ad? I mean, that was the ultimate, I'm sorry, what is happening? Bob Dylan surrounded by the Victoria's Secret angels. And he's just, like I said, he's the original troll for the world.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, good morning to Vadnais Heights. Just want to say, hey, what's up over there? Over there and up a ways, up the way. Vadnais Heights, happy to have you with us. And I'm going to suggest everybody in Vadnais Heights, as well as everybody who's listening, go grab that box of really, really hardcore winter clothes you haven't opened yet, because, man, it is coming now. Let's see what we got. When you see the term Siberian air mass,
right.
It's usually not a sign that you can put on some shorts. It's about to get super crazy cold here in the Twin Cities. Below zero temperatures. The wind will be whipping, as they say. Going to be the coldest. It could be very possibly the coldest temps since 2019, when there was apparently a cold snap of legend. It got down to 28 below at the end of January in 2019. That's not wind chill, just the actual setting on the thermometer.
Oh, I remember it.
We're looking at days coming in now where we're going to be definitely below zero. 20 below Saturday night. 20 below through Tuesday afternoon. Up in northern Minnesota, we're talking 40 below or even lower. Oh,
yeah, Mars cold. That's the surface of Mars every time this comes around. I remember when it was 19 below, true temperature. I walked out and my truck had a flat tire. I walked back inside. Yeah, I walked right back inside. Uber wasn't quite as big back then, but I opened up the old rideshare app. Nothing. No one working. Of course, I'm trying to get to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then call a taxi cab. And I remember calling the lady, and she goes, "We're not going out this morning." And I didn't go to work, and I got a lot of grief for it. But I was sure as hell wasn't going to walk the, I think, 16 miles at the time. But yeah, this is fun cold. Now, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. We haven't had you out for a polar plunge yet, have we? Because I was thinking I'll take a Google here, but there might be one this weekend we can get you out for.
Cute is the way you threw the word "yet" in there, as if it's even a remote possibility ever, which it's not.
You might warm up by jumping in the water.
Yeah, that's true.
With this cold we've got coming, and it looks like we're gonna take the plunge tonight. Tomorrow will be above zero, but highs Sunday and Monday well below zero. Those wind chills. It's gonna be blowing about 10 to 15 miles an hour. That's good enough to make it very deadly on a serious note. You don't want to be out there.
So warm up those knee pits and hibernate, bunker down, and let's have ourselves a hell of a week. What do you say? All right, there's your top 5 and 6. Anything a man can do, a woman can do. Anything a woman can do, a man can do. Well, not really. Pretty poorly, in fact. Yet another example of how the battle of the sexes, there's just certain things guys are not put on this planet to do, and we've got the proof. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
It's good to be with you on a Friday morning. Happy January 17th. Oh, it's about to get cold. So some of us are going to be like, getting on our apps, trying to figure out how to get some things delivered. We're not going to want to get out in that cold. A disgruntled shopper from Instacart has a few things she wants to get off her chest. A woman named Sammy went on TikTok and let us in on what happened when she ordered from Instacart just 5 items from a grocery store. That's all she needed. She needed 5 things delivered to her home, and she was a little upset because the shopper and the person who then delivered those groceries, well, it was a man, and let's just say you can't send a man in to do certain jobs. Here is Sammy on TikTok.
I am begging you to make an update on your app where I can request a female shopper. I put in an order for 5 items. One of these items is what I ordered. I ordered a half gallon of store brand milk. I got a quarter gallon of Tuscan. I ordered a chopped Caesar salad kit. I got the ultimate Caesar salad kit because you have to look slightly harder for the chopped Caesar salad kit, and a man would never. He would just pick the one he sees first.
Sure.
I ordered mozzarella pearls. I got a mozzarella log. I ordered garlic and herb Land O'Lakes spread. I got butter with canola oil. Great. This is annoying. I just think we should make it to where men cannot be shoppers for Instacart or DoorDash, but that would be discrimination. So, yeah.
That's fair, Sammy. I'll be honest. That's how I shop for myself.
Exactly.
And then you get home and I'm like, what the hell why did I buy this? I think I was trying to get this because I'll only look for so long. And I put on, honestly, about a mile every time I go to the grocery store. I go from aisle 2 to aisle 11 to aisle 1 to aisle 8 because things just pop into my head. And then while I'm doing that, while I'm on that excursion, I'll call it, I usually forget about half the items I want. So, Sammy, I get you. I'll tell you what we'll handle. We'll handle the snacks. When I go in the grocery store with a woman, she gets the list. I go to the snacks because women suck at snacks. They're always trying to, well, you know what? Look at yourself. How about some rice cakes? Rice cakes? What the hell is a rice cake?
There's 2 types of grocery excursions for me. One is where I have a list and I will not go off that list. I will not deviate, and I get in and I get out. If I don't have a list in my phone, if I say, oh, no, I got it, you want this and this, I'll just go pick up 2 things really quick, I will come home with 11 things, and one of the 2 things I was sent for will not be in that cart.
Oh, absolutely. All right.
It's incredible.
We concede this, ladies. You can have this one.
I think she's being overly picky. Like, he was in the ballpark.
Well, he was in the ballpark. And like she said, I didn't want the ultimate Caesar. I want a chop sealer. And a man's just going to grab the first thing he sees. That's very true.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it. If you say, I need a can of chili beans, I'm going to get a can of beans.
Yeah.
They might be navy beans. It's close. It's in the ballpark, to your point.
Just not lima beans. I don't know some of those things she was talking about. I have no idea. I think she's being a little too exotic. Was she in the organic aisle? Because I walked down that aisle just to impress people. Like, And I stop and I look and I'm like, oh, so that's the name of the brand of chips with no flavor. That looks good.
Yeah, I like to go to the international foods aisle, and I'll pick up like 3 different hot sauces from Thailand and pretend I'm mulling. Which one did I want that one time? And then I put them all back and go get Tabasco. The best part of this, though, is the comments, because a lot of people weighed in. One woman said, a man substituted my ground beef for watermelon, and I'm still confused about it. I ordered tampons and was substituted white mushrooms.
Oh, no.
Well, in a pinch.
But
how did they used to do it?
But wait, well, in Belgium, I mean, hey, man, 'twas the fashion. This is the best, though. Women are talking about when they've had female shoppers go above and beyond. I love this comment. I had a lady who once asked if I wanted Parmesan because it was on sale, and she thought it would go well with the other things I was ordering.
Oh, wow.
And then here's the best. I had a woman throw in a get well card with her own money because she could tell the items I was ordering were for someone who was sick. Chicken noodle soup ingredients, a bunch of medicines. Imagine, now that's the Instacart person we all wish we had. Of course, I've never used or even seen Instacart, but I do notice sometimes in the store, I'm like, oh, that's one of those people that's getting stuff for somebody else. And then I think, Oh boy, that could go horribly wrong, and apparently I was right.
You know, we had COVID last summer. I missed some days. You can't go out and you can't go shopping, and I've got the Bachelor fridge, with the block of cheese and ketchup. And I thought, okay, I got to get some food. I'll have them deliver it down, out on the doorstep, and then I'll go out and grab it. And they can substitute items if they want to. And let me tell you something out there, whoever the hell you are, there's a big, big difference between peanut butter Captain Crunch and Captain Crunch.
Huge difference.
I don't want Captain Crunch. I want peanut butter Captain Crunch, damn it. But no, if they get women in charge, you can go on to DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever and pick a woman. I might not go shopping for myself again. They sound like if they're going to take care of me a little bit, kind of get mom out there shopping for me. I like it.
The KQ Morning Show continues on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Let's look back. Okay, I thought about not doing it, but you know what? Who are we kidding? We have to. We have to dive in. We have to face ourselves. January 17th, 1999. I was in Brussels, Belgium, at an Irish pub, rooting with every bit of my DNA for my buddy Robert Smith's Minnesota Vikings. Against the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC Championship game 26 years ago today. Gary Anderson had 39 straight field goals, 67 extra points, not a single miss all season. And then that streak ended. Oh, Gary Anderson, we hardly knew ye. One of the great kickers in NFL history, a guy that he'd already earned his bones years earlier in Pittsburgh.
He's in the Ring of Honor there. They're going to retire the number 1, number he wore all those years in Pittsburgh. You go to Pittsburgh and say Gary Anderson, and somebody buys you a beer and just starts telling Gary Anderson winning last second games in the last second. Not so much in Minnesota. You say Gary Anderson, you better cover your crotch. Someone's going to want to kick it.
Absolutely gut-wrenching. And the farthest, a lot of things happened that day for me. And I'm just talking about everybody's got their own memory of that game.
Yeah.
And mine, as I said, sitting in an Irish pub in Europe, watching the game in a bar with a lot of Vikings fans on hand.
Yeah.
Is the only place you could find the game in Brussels. Like my band had just put a record out. We were doing a tour. And like I said, big fan of the Black Crows, Robert Smith. We were honorary Vikings fans. We just always cheered for the Vikings. And it was a kick to the gut. The worst part of the day wasn't when the Falcons came back and won the game. It was when the bar called the police on us because of how we were acting afterwards.
Well,
so
we respect
memorable.
that.
It was memorable, and then it got real memorable real fast. But anyway, Zepp, I know you had a great day that day on the slopes.
Absolutely. I was down in Keystone, and it was nuking that day. And so all my buddy, I'm there with several guys from Minnesota, staying with our buddy from Minnesota, Pete LeBeau, that moved there. And they're all in Denver. And I'm like, dude, it's nuking up there. I'm going to go. I'll watch them in the Super Bowl. Obviously, they're going to beat the Falcons. Yep. And then I'm going to run up there. And also, Denver was playing that day in the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
To go on to win the Super Bowl, of course. And so I thought, what a great day to be up at the slopes for a powder day. I went up, had a great day. And then somewhere in the day, I went, I wonder how the game's going. Stopped, walked into a chalet packed full of Minnesota people. You could see the purple everywhere as Gary Anderson's lining up to kick the field goal. And I thought, oh, perfect. I'll watch the Vikes win this and go back and start skiing again. And I just stood there with everyone else. Could have heard a pin drop. Needless to say, not a party atmosphere I returned to.
No.
Shut the F up was what I heard when I first walked through the door.
Yeah, that would do it. Ryder, do you remember that game? I know you're a Lions gal.
I believe I was working at Target in Burnsville at the time, behind the service counter, and everybody else was over in the electronics department watching the game. The store was empty.
Yeah.
And real bummed bunch of dudes.
Yeah, pretty brutal for sure. But you know what? That's okay because they bounced back the next year. And oh wait, no, they didn't.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Good morning. It's Monday. It's about to get cold as hell. Cold as hail. It's not cold as hell. It's cold as hail. So
I think it's going to get a lot colder than that, actually.
It really is. It's about to get super crazy, goofy cold out there. So, batten down the hatches. Get ready to lick your kneecaps, your arm knee. What do we call them? Kneecaps?
Knee pits.
Knee pits, of course. Kneecap. Yeah. That's silly. It's the Irish coming out in me. The knee pit. We're going to lick our knee pits. We're going to stay warm. We're going to do our best because, man, it's about to get crazy. So we're going to stock up on foods. We're not going to leave the house for a few days. And then inevitably, we're going to to stink. That's just how it goes.
Well,
yeah. It's like hunting.
Or
ice fishing,
exactly
right? Yeah. You just have to stink together, right? You can't stink alone. You got to stink as a group.
They all cancel each other out, the weird smells.
Right? Is that true?
Well, I think so.
That's why they make incense and candles.
And Axe body spray.
Oh, man.
Oh, dude.
Probably, I was going to say the other day, it was about a month ago, though, I got on an elevator with a wandering Axe body spray marketing director. I mean, as much as he had on, I was like, dude, do you not live with anyone? Like, how did you leave the house with that much Axe body spray on your body?
Yeah. If you just light a lighter in their vicinity, they will just go up in flames.
I thought to myself, maybe he lost a bet. Maybe it's a prank. Maybe somebody just sprayed his jacket and he's got a cold, so they knew he wouldn't smell it. I wasn't sure, but it was truly. You're right. In that closed elevator, I bet if I'd pulled out a Bic lighter and flicked that thing, we would have had a problem. Absolutely incredible. We can all eat and drink things that really, really just come right out in the sweat. We all know that's true. Garlic is an exceptionally potent. What's the word I'm looking for? But has a bouquet when mixed with sweat glands and adrenal glands. Yeah. Raw garlic, especially. I spent many, many years on the road in a band, in a tour bus, and the band, the band always just had one bus, so we weren't separate buses. We're all, the 6 guys always right in one living quarter, and all 6 of us over 6 feet tall. That bus got small pretty fast. I'll be honest. Our piano player Ed Harsh, my man, 8. He's born in Canada, but of Ukrainian parents. He's a Ukrainian, basically. And so there was a lot of beets and a lot of cabbage and a lot of raw garlic in my man's life. Just raw garlic. He's like, it's good for the blood. And we would sit there and go, yeah, it's good for your blood. Yeah. Terrible for my olfactory system because the dude just loved him to death, just reeked of garlic at all times. We're like, God, seriously? Like, that's what you need? How about just get a multivitamin going? But, hey, you got to take the good with the bad. But the garlic, we all know. It's a sulfuric compound called allicin. It's not spelled like the woman's name, but it's pronounced Allison.
Love that Elvis song.
That's a great song. Maybe he originally wrote that song about garlic, about a girl who smelled like garlic. That would be very Elvis Costello-like. A very witty double entendre song about a girl named Allison who stinks of garlic. But some studies show there are people who are really turned on by the smell of garlic coming through your pores. I've yet to meet one of those people.
I really wish I was married to one of them because I smell like garlic all the time. I'm like the anti-vampire. Just so much garlic.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? When I go out to eat, I love to eat garlic, but you'll know if I really am into you or if I dig you if we're dating, if I lay off the garlic, because that's the only time I'll do it. I think I might get lucky a little bit later on, and it hangs out. I mean, you can't just brush that out of your mouth. You have to drink a little Listerine. You have to get Listerine in your digestive system to get the garlic out.
Sure. I never realized how much coffee can impact your body odor until I, for reasons I still cannot even remember, kicked caffeine for a while in 2013. I just decided, I do know what I thought. So I read a thing and they said, hey, if you have problems at night with like indigestion, heartburn, they're like, don't take a Tums, just stop drinking coffee during the day. Yeah. That'll make a huge difference. And I was starting to have, I'd go to sleep and I'd wake up with heartburn. I kicked coffee, and it's true, it did. My heartburn went away. And for about 4 months, I didn't have any coffee, any caffeine of any sort. And I felt amazing. I slept better than I'd slept since I was a kid. And I, as well as my wife noticed, I smelled different. I just didn't know how much coffee was getting into me and coming out of me. But I did. I just had, it wasn't necessarily better or worse, but I had a different, just general my musk, if you will, was altered pretty significantly, and it was all positive. And then for reasons that still defy me to this day, one day I just went, I think I'm going to start drinking coffee again. And I didn't need it. I just got back into it. I kicked it for 4 or 5 months and then suddenly started again. And I always think, oh, why did I do that? I was free. I was out.
Didn't coincide with your setting your alarm at 4 o'clock in the morning, did it?
No. This is going back years, man. This is a long time ago. 2013. You know, it did actually, the truth is it did coincide with, we did a tour in Europe. I got over there and I was like, oh, the coffee's so good. It's like a couple of cappuccinos and cafe au laits, and all of a sudden I'm right back on the Starbucks crack pipe.
Yeah, a cheap beer, now that I've achieved middle class status, lower middle class, but I'm definitely in that middle class, I think. I don't drink the cheap stuff anymore, but when I was younger, you'd get the Stroh's 30 packs or the old Milwaukee. Do they make old Milwaukee anymore?
I think do.
And then you drink about, 10, 15 of those bad boys, and you just could not get rid of that smell.
No.
You could smell that and then still smell it on your buddies the next day. It was just, there was something... I don't know. They might have actually used piss to brew that, but it was nasty.
There's nothing more special than the waking up with the beer sweats, the bad, cheap beer sweats. It's coming out of you, so you're like, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get in a workout. Then you go get in a workout. You play. In my case, I'd go play basketball. I would do whatever. Then I would sit in a sauna and sweat everything out and take a great, long, hot shower and go home, and I would still smell like bad beer. And I was like, man,
it gets into your fat cells.
The only thing I can do at this point is get right back on the cheap beer horse.
Well, if you can't get out of it, Steve, get into it.
I'm curious, is there anything specific unusual that you smell when you eat or drink it? You can always let us know. 651-989-ROCK on the KQ Talk and text line. Asparagus, that's an obvious one.
Yeah.
I think we all know that most people can have one spear of asparagus, and then you got to get away from them for about 24 hours. That's how that works. This is the one I'm really glad I've never come across. There's a metabolic disorder that's called fish odor syndrome.
Yeah.
Where some people eat fish and it makes their sweat smell extra seriously fishy. It's rare, but it's the kind of thing that if someone has it, no one questions, do they have it? Like, you have it for sure. Fish odor syndrome. That, to me, I'd rather be told that the person I'm taking a cross-country drive with has leprosy than fish odor syndrome.
It's bad. It's like fish, rotting there in Prior Lake in the middle of July on the sand. The fish your dog likes to roll around in? That special kind of stank,
Yeah, sure.
It's worse than swass, I swear. But 20 years ago, we had a young gal that working right here at the Q, one of our interns, and this came up on the air, and she mentioned that she had it. We're like,
really?
No way. Yeah, so we took her out and fed her a bunch of fish. Really kind of made her, peer pressured her to eat a bunch of fish, and it's almost a chemical smell. It stings the nostrils.
Really?
Yeah, it was really bad.
So she doesn't get sick from eating fish. I mean, she's fine to eat fish.
She actually hated fish. She did not like. Her body was saying, "Don't eat this because we can't handle it," and we metabolize it into a really bad smell. That's another way of saying, "Don't frickin' eat fish."
Yeah.
But we forced her to a couple of different times, just to be like, "Oh no, you got to smell what." Oh, I don't want to say her name.
Yeah.
It's been 20 years, but
well, but that's a great throwback story to the world before. What's it called? HR.
Yeah, right. Right.
Oh my God! Can you imagine that now? Hey. You're a young intern working for nothing. Oh, really? You have that? Let's go exploit that. I'm curious. Oh, that's great.
We used to take her out on appearances, and people would bring fish for her to eat.
Oh, man.
It's like, come on, now you got it. That's a listener over there, and you're going to eat that fish right now.
Oh, my God, that's great. Hey, the 2025 Tee It Up Golf Card presented by Club Champion is on sale now. Golf 6 area courses save nearly $200. Good gracious. Get yours before it sells out. And fun fact, it's about to sell out. Text the word golf to 651-989-ROCK. And if you are, as we speak, in Stacy, Minnesota, 2 things. 1, get that golf card. And 2, we just want to say good morning. What's up, Stacy?
Good morning, Stace. I bet the quick trip's already hopping.
Sure it is. What are you kidding? Is it ever not?
Right.
Hey, Zepp, you said something the other day about the state of Utah and a little something that you called dirty soda. And, it's as if your words are a magic wand. Apparently, dirty soda has come east. Dirty soda is here. And we will explain just what the hell we're talking about. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Mr. Blue Sky right there. I went to Jeff Lynn's ELO at the XL Energy Center a few months ago, and that and every other song they played was just kind of mind-boggling. Just sat there going, well, these are a whole bunch of really great songs played by a bunch of great musicians. I thought this band rehearsed more for that tour than I've spent playing in my entire life. That's what it felt. I was like, how can anyone rehearse this much?
Yeah, that album and I go way back. Kurt Riebaum, a couple of years older than me, and I was only 11, but we're at the mall there in Huron, South Dakota. We go into Music Land, and he buys the album, but blows my mind by opening it, taking the vinyl out. I'm like, what are you doing, man? He goes, they allow you to play it to make sure that the record's okay, so you can take it. But if you open it up and play it and it's okay, you got to buy it. And I was like, mind blown. That's crazy. And then would sit around and listen to it. At the end of that song, interestingly enough, we kind of cut it off here for radio, but it says there's a little thing, something like, now flip the record, because that was the end of side one, Mr. Blue Sky. I'll never forget.
Nice.
Yeah. Opened my mind.
What was your friend's name?
Kurt Riebaum.
Riebaum.
Rybaum, I think. Kurt out there went off to the Air Force, and I don't know, kind of lost touch over the years. I guess I could Facebook him, but
no, I only ask because I still I hear a name, I go right back to middle school where you had to tag a nickname on it. I mean, the Bomber. That's what we would have gone
the Bomber,
with.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just that. What a great name to walk around with.
Yeah, Kurt Riebaum.
Every jacket he ever wears. Hey, man, give me that bomber jacket. I mean, you just have endless fun. With
and he went into the Air Force. I don't know. Maybe.
Of course he did.
Maybe ended up on a bombing crew. I don't know.
Yeah, I was actually in jury duty, and there was the district attorney. His name was Mr. District Attorney. I was so surprised to see that, but it's like I guess he just, with a name like that, you're just going to end up as the DA.
You're forced in, yeah.
Yeah, the judge kept saying that, so I was like, wow, that's weird. Speaking of weird, to me anyway, you said something about this the other day, Zepp. You spent a lot of time in Utah, and you were talking about the fact, as we know, our Mormon brothers and sisters, no caffeine, no alcohol.
Yeah.
But apparently sugar is A-OK and darn near, in fact, it's kind of promoted.
Yeah, I love going out there. Greatest snow on earth. It's right on their license plates. So, yes, you get the big snow out there. But then I remember, like on my third trip there, trying to get drunk. We were just with a bunch of guys, and we're trying to get drunk. We're in a taxi cab, and there's a guy stumbling down the street, and we're like, pull over. I want to find out where he got drunk. Because now I think it's lightened up a lot there because so many people have moved into Utah. But back in the day, the Mormons, their thing, as I recall, correct me if I'm wrong, 651-989-ROCK, the talk and text line, is that no hard drink means no coffee, and no alcohol. Okay. But apparently someone figured out, but we can have sugar. Brigham didn't write that one in. Sugar's good to go. Right. And they are all in on sugar. You can't find a coffee kiosk in the Salt Lake City Valley, I don't think. But I pulled into a place called Swig. I'm like, oh, it's a Swig. It's a coffee. It's a little kiosk here in a parking lot. I wheel in. They're like, oh, no, we don't serve coffee, but we serve sugar drinks. How much sugar would you like? And they'll fill a cup up like 3/4 full with sugar and then hit it with some seltzer water. I'm like, you folks are out of your minds, man, just on a big sugar buzz there.
You were telling that story, and I was thinking to myself, that's just so bizarre. What an interesting, odd, and unique thing for Utah. Or, as the case may be, for Maple Grove. Because now we're just sitting here. You just mentioned this. There's a place in Maple Grove called Soda, S-O-T-A, that's doing this. They take fountain pops and then they mix in fruits, creams, and syrups to create these crazy ass sugar laden drinks. And I'm like, wow. And the guys that opened it here, they're like, oh yeah, we would go visit family in Utah, and we always did the same thing. We'd go to these places, we noticed it, and this place, the place here in Maple Grove, apparently is just loaded. They got lines out the door. Everybody's going and grabbing that sugar high, and then of course, the hit Hulu show, which I've yet to see, but I hear about all the time, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it either.
Bring out the wives to see if they predicted what you'd say. Then dirty sodas are in the spotlight from that show, and now apparently there's a bit of a trend. People are trying to get on those dirty sodas, and Minnesota's got their own joint now.
Wow. Well, I wonder, when you go to a coffee shop and you leave room for cream, I'm interested maybe in a dirty soda, but leave room for vodka.
Yeah.
Can we do that? Yeah? Give me a couple inches there at the top, and maybe we can make this interesting. I'm not a huge sugar guy. Steve, you're a salt guy, but I dig some sugar. Not, I don't shun it as much as you do, but yeah, too much of a good thing, I think. Although, if you're looking to open up a dentistry, maybe right across the street. Right across the street.
Yeah, I'm not a sugar guy, not a dessert guy. Like, I'm the guy who will have, I'll have a bite of ice cream. I'll have a slice of pie. And, I love it. It's like, oh, my God. And sometimes I'll have a little bit more than I should. But then I'm good for months. I just don't occur to me. I just don't have a sweet tooth on any level. I'm married to a sweet tooth who's in the form of a human woman. And so Rosemary, it's like, hey, man, just, she'll it could be any time of day, and she will just go, I don't know, I just need something. I'm like, yeah, it's in the kitchen. Just, I don't, if I'm at a, you don't see them everywhere, but anytime I see goobers, I just buy the box. They gotta be around. She's gonna need them. The idea that, back to these dirty sodas, like just taking a soft drink, like you're adding, you take a Coke and then you just add stuff to it, like fruit, more syrups. That's like beyond my understanding. I'm going to probably have to try one of these, or at least watch someone try one of these to make sense of it. The only thing I've ever added to a Coke was peanuts. That's a Southern thing. You get your Coke and you throw some peanuts in there. Eventually they come out and you have a Coke-laden peanut and you chew it, but it really doesn't change the drink that much. It's just a thing. I've always been like, no, this Dr. Pepper is sweet enough as it is. I can't imagine adding to it. It's like pouring sugar on your Sugar Smacks. I've got Fruity Pebbles and sugar. Like, wow. But that's just me. I guess I'm just not a sweet tooth guy. Ryder, what's your sweet tooth situation?
I want to talk crap about this because I'm very much a salty person. Like, I like the salty foods. But back in high school, we used to go to Denny's in Burnsville because they would let us underage smoke. And we would get inside.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
I know.
And we would get the cherry Coke because they used the grenadine, and then we would dump coffee creamer in it. And it was actually freaking fantastic.
Wow.
Oh, a young rider. They're all in black with a ciggy.
I tell you what, that is, if there is an all-girl high school punk band not called Underage Smoke out there in the world, you're missing an amazing opportunity, girls. I'm telling you, that is awesome. I love the way that you said that they would let us underage smoke. Like that's my kind of verbiage right there.
They didn't encourage it, but they just never stopped anybody, and clearly we were not over 18.
They didn't encourage it. You walk in. How old are you? 16. Here's some Reds. Go spark up, kid.
Well, it was still smoking or non at the time when you walked in. So we just headed straight over to the smoking section. Nobody said anything.
Well, to kick you out, they would have had to put their cigarette out in the kitchen and come out and kick you out. But they're doing. Besides, back in it kind of made the food taste better. You know what I mean? I love me some Denny's.
We never got any food. It was just sitting around with drinks and smoking.
Oh, that group. You know what? It was the young teen girls were sitting. Yeah, the young teen girls sitting there smoking their cigarettes, never ordering anything at Denny's, and the guys over 70 would do the same thing. It was those two demographics. They'd just sit there. You'd walk in, there'd be 8 guys sitting at Denny's just smoking with a cup of coffee, and you'd leave, and they'd be sitting there with that ciggy and a cup of coffee still.
Okay, this is the dumb question. I know what happens when I'm over caffeinated. I know what happens when I've had too much alcohol. Is a sugar high a real thing? I know there's a sugar crash.
Yeah,
I've certainly experienced that. But on the flip side, like they say now, studies show if you give a kid a bunch of sugar, their behavior really doesn't change all that much. It's kind of a myth. But I have to feel if I go and I drink a loaded up extra sugarified sugar drink, what's going to happen to me? I'm going to feel different, right? There's got to be some sort of a buzz. Otherwise, why would everyone be chasing it?
There's something there. Here's what I know. I'm not a big soda guy. I don't usually drink it. Every once in a while with my fast food meal, I'll get like something exciting like a Sprite to drink.
Yeah.
But just not a big sugary, except when I used to booze. The Lord Cokes, that Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
That whole thing. Here's what I do know. Cut my hangovers by 2/3. Almost eliminated them the day I quit putting sugary drinks, pairing it up with my booze. So I know it makes hangovers a lot worse. It's gotta have some effect, but I'm not one to speak on the sugar effect, I guess.
I mentioned I'm over-caffeinated. It's been a while since I've had that feeling, but when I first started drinking coffee, there were times when I would go a little too quickly. And that feeling of I'm going to climb out of my skin now early in anyone's coffee drinking career.
Yeah.
You have that morning where you didn't get any sleep. You got to go to work. And so you think, I'll have 2 giant cups of coffee. And then you spend about an hour and you're thinking, oh, my God, this must be what meth feels like, but without the fun part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like that thing is like, I have a feeling that a couple people are going to be experiencing that soon. Check this out. We told you the other day about the Planters Nutmobile. They're looking for someone to drive that 26-foot Nutmobile around. You've obviously got the Oscar Mayer Wiener vehicle. That's the most probably popular, most famous food product car you'll see driving on the highway. There's a coffee chain called Chameleon Coffee, and they have a job for 2 people. They're looking for 2 people, friends, to do the same thing for them. They want you to join what they call the Brew Crew. They're going to have you travel the country, and you don't even have to be in a giant, ridiculous vehicle. They're hiring 2 people to drive across the country and go to like South by Southwest in Austin, the Telluride Bluegrass Festival in Colorado, Las Vegas. They're just going to send you on the road for a year, and they want you to document this whole year on social media. They're going to give everybody comprehensive medical, dental, and vision benefits, daily per diems for food and essentials, housing for the trip, clearly all the coffee you could ever have hoped for, and $75,000 for the year.
What?
For 2 people. They're saying, hey, if you and a friend, they're going to hire 2 people, $75,000 each, to travel the country for a year, just talking about and hanging out and filming yourselves doing those things with their coffee, Chameleon Coffee. That's a hell of a gig.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of pine for those days. Where were these offers? These offers did not exist when I was doing inventory at Walgreens, thinking, boy, I sure wish I could turn that part-time radio job into a full-time gig.
Man.
Yeah, because I would have been gone in a heartbeat on a deal like this if they would have taken me. But, you got to be savvy with the social media. That's a big part of it. 75 G's, and you just get to go to cool places, and you got to slam some caffeine. Do it.
You got to be over 21. You have to have a clean driving record, and then they want you to be an experienced content creator. So, but you know what? That describes my daughter perfectly. She's an editing, cinematography and editing major. Her, and she doesn't do social media to have a profile. She just does it for her and her friends. But the videos that she, like when Marley's buddy has a birthday, she'll put together just a 60-second clip that's like watching Gone with the Wind. I'm like, oh my God, that's beautiful.
Right.
Like, I wish I was your friend, because she doesn't do that crap on my birthday. But yeah, I'm just sitting here going, you know what? That spring semester can wait. She might need to apply for this gig. She's not a coffee drinker, but she can learn. We can teach her that. We can get her strung out on coffee.
There's ways around that. For crying out loud. Decaf, they won't know what's in the cup.
I did have an experience with the last time I was worryingly so over-caffeinated. I was in San Francisco in 2003. I mean, I remember this like it was yesterday. And I went to a Vietnamese cafe, which I was like, a Vietnamese coffee shop. That's new. And I just got a coffee drink. And the guy said, hey, this is really strong. I said, that's fine. I'm a large man. I drink coffee. And I drank one drink, and I walked out of there, and my toes were tingling.
Yeah.
And I stared at I'm not making this up. I didn't sleep. I think there was like speed in the coffee. I was like, what in the hell? My gums were like, I was like, how did you get a nitrous balloon into my coffee? How did you do that? I didn't see that coming. So, but if the sugar drinks are anything like that, then, I might need to take a trip. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
I just don't get my highs as often as I used to.
Today's Rosemary's birthday. Maybe take her over to one of these dirty soda places, get her all hopped up on sugar.
Now, see, I can't do that. That's like, that would be dangerous. I'd be like, this would be suddenly she's awake at 9:45 every day going, I'm going, they open at 10. You ready to, do you want to go? I'm ready. Just leave the station, come get me. Come pick me up. I'd be like, this could be a real problem. The weather's coming. Super cold weather right around the corner. Yeah. I'm recommending everyone batten down the hatches, load up with all the soup you can suck. Yeah, you heard me. I'll explain. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Oh, man. Whoa, real cold weather coming over the weekend and into next week. It's going to be super chill. I am a soup fanatic. Have been my whole life. People say, what's your favorite kind of food? I just say soup, and they go, what kind? I go, in a bowl. Just, I don't care, man. I don't remember the last time I took a bite of a soup that I didn't then finish the bowl of.
You do get excited. Yeah,
I will just eat soup at any time. If I'm anywhere, if I'm in a place, if I'm in some town I've never been, and it's like, let's go out and find some lunch, and I see some place that's like soups and sandwiches, soups and salads, a soup shop, that's just where I go.
Yeah,
and I will eat soup in August. I don't care. It doesn't have to be cold.
Come down later for moose soup. You guys come down here after. I got moose soup and everything. Come down for moose soup after.
I love that lady. I've never had moose soup. Sounds kind of tasty, I guess.
It just gives me another reason to get up in the morning. I still haven't had moose soup, so that's something I have to do. The Progresso soup people, I'm familiar with their game, and they are mine because, I still remember, like, I don't know, a couple years after, mid-20s probably, and I was like, Progresso, that's that expensive soup, right? It's like,
fancy.
Am I going to move on from Campbell's where I add a can of water and go Progresso where I just open the can and heat it up? Oh my God. Progresso is really looking out for me now. They've just introduced a brand new on-the-go soup experience is what they're calling it.
What?
Because this is National Soup Month, of course, or as I call it, every day of my life. Check this out. They've got something called soup drops. Soup drops. Not a little ketchup pack sized soup on the go. Like a bouillon cube or something. Yeah.
Just add it.
No, it's not. It's close to a bouillon cube. It's like a cough drop. It's a cough drop. You go to the cough drop aisle. You start to get sick. You're like, I need those Halls. I need those. Ricola. I'm gonna get a cough drop. They've now got soup drops. It looks just like a typical cough drop, but instead of like cherry flavor or menthol flavor, it's chicken noodle soup flavored.
Okay, but no chunks in it, right? It's just flavored. Chunks. You're not gonna. All right.
No chunks. Right. You just stick it in there. You suck on that bad boy, and it doesn't do a damn thing for your cold, but it makes you feel good. It gives you that reassuring, I'm having chicken noodle soup and I'm a little sick feeling, which is a beautiful thing.
All right, you're our soup guy. Are you in on this?
Oh, yeah.
Soup drops?
I will absolutely try these. Haven't had one yet. Not only will I try a soup drop, I'll probably be obnoxious about it. I'll be a total dick. Hey, man. I bet you wish you had one of these. I've only got 9 left. Sorry, can't share. I
did wear deodorant today. That's my soup drop you're smelling.
That's it. That's exactly
Chicken
right.
Yeah. By the way, here we go with TikTok. We'll miss you when you're gone. I don't know what it's supposed to be after TikTok. Young woman on TikTok, this from yesterday. Shocked to discover that you're supposed to add some water to Campbell's soup.
I was today years old, knowing that you're supposed to mix this with a can of water. You don't just eat this. Okay, that makes more sense.
Her life just opened up. Yeah. Remember when we first tried acid? She just found out you should add water to Campbell. Must have been a little thick, I guess. Soup drops.
I used to go, sometimes I would do 2 cans of a Campbell soup with only 1 can of water, so it's a little extra thick. It made me feel like it's more continental that way. Yeah. I don't even know what that meant.
Kids, don't try that at home. Steve's an experienced soup eater. Do not.
Some people do experiment with drugs in college. I experimented with soups. That was my thing.
I do remember, I don't know if this is kind of like a soup drop, maybe a soup pop, but hunting out in West River one year, and we go out there, and First of all, we didn't bring water, but back in those days, we didn't have bottled water you could just buy at the store. But thank goodness there was a blizzard and we had a gallon of Jack Daniels, so we had lots of Jack Daniels snow cones. And Mom had made us a big ice cream bucket full of tomato soup.
Sure.
But we had no way to heat it up, so we'd set our bowls outside and put the spoon in. And then by morning, you just had yourself a tomato soup pop and a Jack Daniels snow cone.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't even know if we went deer hunting that year, but we had a good old party in the van down by the river.
You did.
All right, I'll try a soup drop. Why not?
I was rocking some vegetable beef soup as a kid once. That was mainly, I think the reason I love soup so much is I could just, I didn't have to ask for help. It was pretty simple. Saucepan, heat, can opener. I could handle all those operations as a young kid. I was working a can of vegetable beef soup one day. I'm stirring it, got a little bit of pepper on top, and I'm just like, yeah, this is going to be great. This is going to be amazing. My dad walks in, he goes, oh, you know what really is going to, you know what I love to do with that soup? I'm like, what's that? He didn't tell me. He just did it, which is he took a giant hunk of butter and threw it in my soup.
Huh.
And he goes, try that when that melts. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. My dad gave me a tip. Destroyed my bowl of soup. Just disgusting.
I see people do that with coffee, right?
Oh my God.
Soup, all right.
I had to eat it and act like it was great. I didn't. There was no part of me that said, be honest, tell him it's not your thing. I was just like, yeah, this is great, Dad, thanks. And I remember I mourned that can of soup while I was still eating it.
Oh, yeah. But you had to. You had to because Dad did it.
It was my soup. I waited all day. I opened it. I poured it in. I was stirring it. I had the pepper. It was perfect. And now it's over and gone, and I don't dare go make another one. That's not how it works in a big family.
That scar is still on the outside.
Oh,
yeah, I can tell.
Oh, man.
I'm a grilled cheese fanatic. Love me some grilled cheese, speaking of your tomato soup. And I'll never forget the day Dad said, no, we'll make it a little bit better for you today. We're going to make you a better grilled cheese. And he put Spam in it. And it wasn't better, but I sat there and ate it with a grin on my face. I was like,
yeah.
You effed up my grilled cheese, Dad.
Man, there's just no way to get it back. You know what I mean? It's just all those memories, all those moments. You just think I was going to get somewhere great that day, and it just didn't happen. Somewhere great, North Oaks, Minnesota is a pretty great spot to hang out. Good morning. Anybody listening in North Oaks right now, rest assured, we're thinking of you, and we're happy to have you with us. How about that?
Yeah.
How about a little North Oaks love?
I like it. I mean, it makes me think of summer. What is it, Pleasant Lake right over there? I know because they've got that North Oaks Golf Club. I think it's a private club, one of those Tom Lehman clubs or whatever.
Ooh,
and it looks really nice when I'm paddleboarding around. I sure wish someone would invite me to play.
I'm in North Oaks every few months. That's the, my friends at the Gorman Center for Cosmetic Dentistry in North Oaks.
Oh, really?
I know it well. Yeah,
there
man.
you go.
I go in there and hang out. They're like, you don't need a cleaning. I'm like, nah, I just thought we'd all look at my teeth together for a little while. I just burn in the day. It's great.
Looking good.
Wonderful people at the Gorman Center for Cosmetic Dentistry. I'd say that if their name wasn't Gorman, but it is. That's how I roll. That's how that is. So Amazon, Instacart, we live in a world where we have things delivered constantly. They ever get the wrong thing? Do you ever get the wrong thing? Do you ever get the wrong thing and go, it's actually better than I ordered, I'll keep it? Or do you ever get the wrong thing and think to yourself, that's it, I'm moving to the woods, I'm going full Kaczynski, I can't take it anymore? Somewhere in the middle are a lot of my experiences. Let's discuss the pros and cons of a delivery world. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Mike Campbell told the story of the band. After they had cut that track, they were in the mixing process in the studio and walking in one day, and the girl at the front desk said, hey. And he's like, yeah. Never speaks to her. She doesn't talk to him. There's several bands working. She's just answering phones. They have no relationship. And she goes, hey, can I tell you something? He goes, yeah, what's up? He's thinking she's going to say, like, there's a leak in the bathroom. And she goes, hey, that Refugee song, that's a hit. And he goes, what? She's like, oh, no, I heard it yesterday like 50 times. And, I can't get it out of my head. And he was like, huh. And he said up to that moment, they were not thinking that was a single at all. It was just one of the many songs they had recorded. Uh-huh. And he went in and he mentioned it, and they were all like, and this is the thing I love about Tom Petty. Very few artists would be like, Oh, she said that? Well, then let's take another look at it. Because it's like, you want the ears on the street. You think you know everything. We wrote these songs. We know what the best songs are. And they were like, no, I mean, the woman at the front desk selling us, that's who we're playing it for. That's who's going to be in traffic listening on the radio.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
He said it was a real important lesson for all of them. It's like, don't get don't think you know everything. Because he's like, left to their own devices, it might not have even made the album. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, that's a good song. But yeah, she's like, hey, excuse me, that's a hit.
I'm sure she got a big fat promotion out of the deal. Probably head of her own label.
Her name is Michelle Anthony, and she was the president of Epic Records for years and years. No, actually,
and now
that's not
you
true
know. Yeah.
And now you know. That's it. I can tell you this. I was in a band for a long time, and if the woman at the reception desk had mentioned that to us, we would have had her fired. Well, no, not really. That's not true at all. Well, it depends on if she was attractive or not. Listen, all I could say is that, there's some bands are great guys and some bands are assholes, and you could do the math on this. Listen, in the world in the world that we live in these days, we do a lot of what do you call it? We farm out a lot of our work, especially grocery store shopping. Instacart, you know what I mean? There's several services. You just need something at the house. You just get on your phone, bip, 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 and someone brings it to you. And not to mention, obviously, Amazon, the ultimate, hey, I need this. I don't want to go get it. I knew we were in trouble during the pandemic when, I would get an email that somebody had ordered on Amazon, the most mundane thing, a 6-foot extension cord. And I'm like, well, who needs an extension cord? I've got 7 of them in the shed. And I'd go into my son would be like, Connell, he always sleeps with a fan on just for the noise of the fan.
Me too,
that's his white noise machine. And he's like, I just wanted to put my fan across the room. I'm like, what? He goes, well, that plug over there is weird. I'm like, wait. And so your response is to get online and order an extension cord without, A, Dad, can we move this dresser out 6 inches so I can reach that plug? Or B, do you have an extension cord?
It was a big deal back when we were kids growing up to order something. It was, first of all, I don't remember anything we ever ordered that was delivered, We might have received some gifts or something that way. But yeah, if you ordered something, it had to be something once in a lifetime, huge and exotic, or not an extension cord, for crying out loud. Dad would make one of those. Hang on, I'll run out to the garage and make an extension cord quick.
I got an old rope belt. I think I can make that thing hold a current.
And he would, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine. I'm trying to remember a delivery to my house as a kid. That would have been like Santa Claus was coming. It would have been Mom, there's a UPS truck outside. Oh, my God. That never happened. It's incredible.
I did this last week. I'm a little ashamed myself, but the old toothbrush, I just used kind of the fake Oral-B electric toothbrush, not the expensive kind, but the disposable kind, the kind that's not good for landfills in the ecology and all that good stuff. But anyway, it pooped out on me, and I was like, I got to stop and get a toothbrush today. Well, I got some other things to get. No, actually, I don't. So I went on Amazon, and they delivered that sucker 3 hours later, just toothbrushes. I had an individual go to a warehouse, pick up toothbrushes, drive the big gas-guzzling vehicle over to my place, and drop off 2 because they came in packs of 2 toothbrushes. And I went, wow, I get you, Gen Z. I get you now.
Man, sometimes, you don't order something and it shows up. I mean, you make an order and they bring you something completely different. Ken on the KQ Talking text line wrote, I ordered socks and beef jerky and freezies. I'm not sure I'm sorry, what's a freezy? What am I missing?
Freezy Pops. Those plastic Freezy Pops?
Oh, great, yeah. I ordered socks, beef jerky, and freezies from Walmart.com, and I got an inflatable kiddie pool. And he writes, WTF, we kept it. Sure you did. You'll find a use for that damn thing.
I could use this.
But Instacart, people who order groceries through various apps, a woman is on TikTok going viral. She's one of many women who have shared her experience with Instacart, and they all share a common denominator. I ordered from Instacart. A man went into a grocery store with my list and brought me back very, very little of what I was expecting. Here's this TikTok video in question.
I am begging you to make an update on your app where I can request a female shopper. I put in an order for 5 items. One of these items is what I ordered. I ordered a half gallon of store brand milk. I got a quarter gallon of Tuscan. I ordered a chopped Caesar salad kit. I got the ultimate Caesar salad kit because you have to look slightly harder for the chopped Caesar salad kit. And a man would never. He would just pick the one he sees first.
Ultimate.
I ordered mozzarella pearls. I got a mozzarella log. I ordered garlic and herb Land O'Lakes spread. I got butter with canola oil. This is annoying. I just think we should make it to where men cannot be shoppers for Instacart or DoorDash, but that would be discrimination. So, yeah.
I'm not going to take this one personally. By the way, I just thank you, Jeff, for texting in here, messaging. I guess freezies or something else. It's a some sort of a sugary treat. Anyway, moving along. All right, yeah, I get it. I mean, that's how I shop for myself. I mean, if I assume this gal's not in a relationship. If you were in a relationship and you asked him to pick up a few things on the way home, this is what you get right here. So, but I would like the female-only version on some of these delivery apps. Guys are, they head someplace. It's a close enough kind of deal.
Sure.
I think for a lot of guys. A lot of this, like you said, on BuzzFeed. I want to play one more from Miriam here.
If you get a male Instacart shopper, just go ahead and cancel that order, baby. Like, this not getting done. Because one thing about a male Instacart shopper, he gonna bring you everything you did not ask for. Yeah. Bro, I told this man to bring me kiwis. He gonna substitute it for lemons. Babe, what's the correlation between a kiwi and a lemon? They're not even similar. How you gonna... Don't piss me off, please.
There's some good. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk text line. I asked for 5 pounds of cherries, and I got 5 bags of cherries. It was a $30 difference.
That's close. Come
sure.
on. Well, yeah, that is $30.
Okay, all right, here we go. Tried ordering an extension cable, and he asked me if wired earbuds were an okay substitute.
Well, you know what? Dad can make that into an extension cable.
Yeah. Man, that's pretty great. What about the fact that if this were something other than someone's job, this is what I'm getting at. I mean, one of the great hacks in life is if you're asked to do something at work you don't want to do it poorly. They'll never ask you again.
That's right.
But if you're an Instacart guy, that doesn't apply here.
Oh.
Like you're not going to fail up. They're not going to suddenly make you the coordinator of these deliveries. You're going to get fired. So it just speaks to the fact that men are just dolts. I mean, it's really that simple.
I mean, yeah. Again, not taking that
too
personally.
Hard on the dudes.
Yeah,
I think it can happen. I would definitely be bringing you something that was in the ballpark if I was an Instacart shopper.
Here's a woman that's lowered her bar for us. Maybe that's easier than us trying to get up over that female bar. Maybe just, like Ryder suggests, bring it down. This is my favorite one on this list. My friend once requested dry active yeast for baking and received yeast infection medication.
Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, I heard the word yeast, and guys are thinking yeast infection. Not baking, for crying out loud. I remember the first time my mom said yeast and baking together. I was older, and I knew about yeast infections. I was like, "What? You use yeast?" And she's like, "Brian, relax. It's a baking thing. I'm like, you're not producing it yourself, I hope." Gross.
I asked for toilet paper. They brought me $15 napkins. $15 worth of napkins.
Because you're worth it.
But you know what? You are worth it. But, I mean, you could get the job done if need be. There is at least that. The funniest thing to me on this story about the Instacart men is a lot of people commented about when they've had women, the difference is huge. Women go above and beyond. She said, I once had a woman add in a get well card. She paid with her own money because she could tell all the items I was buying were for being sick. Chicken noodle soup ingredients, lots of medicines. That's pretty special. And then here's a good one. My last lady shopper messaged me concerned that the grapes don't look good today. She didn't want me to have bad ones. And she writes, meanwhile, the last dude brought me expired lunch meat.
All right. Here's a business idea that we're not going to follow up on, but some go-getter out there is going to, and I hope you'll remember me when you do. This came from Zepp, and that is you start a food delivery service for moms, empty nesters. Just moms, the kids are gone, and then just get them out there doing the deliveries for you. They'll take good care of you. Sometimes, I've never worked for a delivery, but I've been the dude in the relationship that was expected to get something, and sometimes women make it very difficult. I was asked one time, and she sent me a picture of the box of L'Oreal hair color, and it was a blonde, and it was a blonde shade. You ever walk down one of those frickin' aisles? First of all, there's 1,000 of them. There's 1,000 shades and like 200 shades of blonde, and every box looks exactly the same model with a slightly different shade. I was in there for probably 15 minutes, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm not going to find it. I'm going to get the wrong one. I came home with like cherry red. I'm like, hey, let's try something this weekend. Let's get weird. I'll lick the back of your legs, your knee pits. You go redhead. You go cherry red. And anyway, big roll of the eyes. Didn't work out. You got to keep it simple.
I like the idea of the empty nest moms taking over Instacart. They'll come in.
Yeah.
Not only will they bring you exactly what you wanted, they'll add a couple things in there just because, and probably go ahead and prepare it for you. Well, this is now turning into what I'm basically saying is you just want to have grandma come over.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I got it. We start a company. It's called Grandmagram. Send a Grandmagram. It's a grandma who comes over instead of a singagram or a whatever. Grandmagram. Yeah. She just comes in. She says, "Oh, don't you make a fuss. I'll handle this." I mean, she kind of chastises you for not being able to take care of yourself, but it makes her feel good to do so. She whips up a meal. She tells you, to get a haircut, and she leaves, and you're feeling great when it's all said and done.
It's freaking brilliant, but you did say it on the air, and by the time we get to commercial break, I'm pretty sure someone will have already taken that domain. But again, don't forget about us. We at least deserve a free Grandmagram membership for life, I think.
At the very least. God, Grandmagram, that makes me think.
Grandmagram.
If I could have Gertrude Gorman come in one last time, whip up some chicken salad, and then just give me grief for putting my feet up on the table. Oh, man, what are you kidding?
Yeah.
I'll take my shoe at you. She never did. But that was the threat. I'll take my shoe at you. Like swinging. She did have like a size 10. She was a large woman. Hey, man, she wasn't playing games, let me tell you. Hey, KQRS, 92 KQRS, that is, wants to send you to see Metallica. They will be at Mile High Stadium in Denver this summer for the final nights of their M72 No Repeat Weekend Tour. For a shot to win Snake Pit tickets, that's a 360 view of the show for both nights, plus airfare and a hotel for two. Text the national keyword Denver to 95819 for your chance to win. The top 5 at 9 coming up. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Friday morning. It is January the 17th. Paul McCartney and Wings. Maybe I'm amazed from Wings Over America. A triple album. Remember triple albums?
Wow.
Oh, were we ever so young? Was it ever so great to be alive?
The rare triple album.
Christmas, I guess, 1976, that bad boy, Wings Over America, was under the tree with my name on it. And I listened to all 30 songs, all 6 sides, I would say relentlessly for months.
I hope they got you a set of headphones, too.
No, God, no, right? But we did have our basement had originally been fashioned as a bomb shelter, a house built in the 1950s. Cool. Thick concrete walls with lead in between the blocks. You could have set off a nuclear device down there and my parents wouldn't have heard it. So, they just go downstairs. I don't care how loud your stereo is. Go, kid. Wings Over America, I would air drum the whole record. I would air guitar, but not really air guitar, tennis racket guitar, the whole record.
Okay.
I mean, at every note, I mean, I can't play guitar to save my life, but I can make you think I can play that whole album on a tennis racket.
I really dumbed it down. I did the exact same thing, but with Kiss Alive 2.
Sure. Oh, I was there with that, yeah.
Yeah, I only had to learn one strum. That was it. And, I mean, anybody can play drums like Peter Criss. Come on.
That's very true. It's very true. The Kiss Alive 2. So Wings Over America was 3 entire albums. Kiss Alive 2 was 3 sides, and then a 4th side of studio tracks that, as far as I know, science can prove no one ever played once.
No, there was one that Ace Frehley redid and put on his solo album. Remember the solo albums when they all did their solo thing? Yeah, right. He had New York Groove. I think he probably had Back in the New York Groove was maybe the biggest hit of all of those solo albums, oddly enough. But, he had a song. I'm like, wait a minute. This is that one from Kiss Alive 2. You know, the really shiny album side that no one ever played. The grooves were just perfect.
It's so funny. Kiss Alive 2, you have side 1, side 2, side 3. It's a double album. And then you put on side 4, and it's like, what is this crap? I honestly don't know that anyone ever played all of it more than once. You just went like, I'm trying to like it. I want to hear the crowd scream some more. I want to imagine there's blood everywhere. I'm going back to side 2.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Man. It just doesn't sound the same in the studio. All right, let's get on with it. Here's your top 5 at 9. Here's the 5 stories that we think are most important for your day. A bad bummer way to start off. Bob Uecker died yesterday, number 5. Bob Uecker, former Major League Baseball player. As they say, I mean, he did actually play in the majors from 62 to 67. Yeah. Not exactly a household name. Until, of course, he got behind a microphone. The voice of the Milwaukee Brewers and Bucks, and then, Bucks, listen to me. Voice of the Milwaukee Brewers for years, and then, but more importantly, the voice of Miller Lite. His Miller Lite commercials in the 80s. He went instantly from a guy baseball people know to like a guy my mom loved. You know what I mean? Overnight, one commercial, I'm sure you remember it. It sounded like this.
You know, one of the best things about being an ex-big leaguer is getting freebies to the game. Call the front office, bingo. And once these fans recognize me, I probably won't even have to pay for my light beer from Miller. Down it! I love them. Good seats, huh?
You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I must be in the front row.
Come on.
Light beer from Miller.
Man,
everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
He missed the tag! He missed the tag!
I must be in the front row. That was instantly part of the lexicon. All of those lines, and then a few years later, when he was in the movie Major League as the play-by-play guy, when he says just a bit outside, that was everybody. I mean, it was like there was lines from Animal House, Stripes, Caddyshack, and Bob Uecker ads. That's what we all used all the time.
Every time your buddy struck out at a bar, just a bit outside.
Incredible.
I mean, God, I can hear it over and over and over again. And he just parlayed that into a big career. I remember, now, I don't think he went into the Hall of Fame as an announcer. He was honored by the Hall of Fame, I believe, one year. But I remember him giving his speech. Suddenly you want to hear the Hall of Fame speech because it's Bob Uecker. And he talks about his parents attending his first game, and they walked out. On his first game. And I don't know if that's true. Probably not true, but it was so Uecker. Yeah, so Uecker. So Scotty.
Yep, 90 years old. He will be missed, man. Bob Uecker was one of the best. Let's talk about licking body parts, just because it's Friday and it's about to be really cold and we have to come up with something to do while we're all locked in from the elements. The least lickable body parts, a list that we have been checking out. We talked about this already, but it's worth going back into because, Zepp, you had some very passionate thoughts on this. The knee pit, or the back of the knee. Not the armpit, the knee pit. Apparently, this is something very few of us have ever licked. Very few of us would like licked, but you have a contrarian opinion of this.
I absolutely. Go there. It's going to be a cold weekend. You're not going out. You're not doing anything. Go there. Have someone screw up your grocery order and bring you the wrong stuff, some dude, and then go to the back of the knee. Here's the thing. I just, when you're young, you explore everything. You get the tongue out and you just go exploring. What do you got? I want to lick it. Everything. And I mean everything. But anyway, I digress. Ended up at the back of the leg one time and just gave it a big old, kind of like a French kiss. Sent her over the top. It was a secret weapon for years, and women would think it's kind of weird, but you're working your way to the foot, and they love the foot play, right?
Yeah.
But you take a spin around the back of the kneecap there, and I'm saying I was batting like 800 on that bad boy because there's a lot of nerve endings there. It's kind of protected.
Sure,
it's behind the leg, like your armpit.
Good
there are people that are into armpits, but, I'm classier than that. Go to the knee pit, I'm telling you, and then just have a good time.
You know how, sometimes you'll see, it's an old trope. It's in, TV movies, usually on Lifetime. It's like, what are you doing this weekend, Bob? And he's like, well, I'm going to get the old car out. Yeah, go take her for a spin. The old beater. When you're a young man, it's like, well, I'm going to get the tongue out. I'm going to spend the weekend. I'm going to see what I can get myself into. It's the difference between a 25-year-old and a 65-year-old.
Yeah, ain't it though?
A beautiful thing. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9, Bob Dylan. As always, timing is everything in life, and my man loves to mess with us. When you least expect it from Bob Dylan, expect it. Days before TikTok expects to be shut down in the United States, Bob Dylan has officially joined TikTok. Isn't this perfect?
All right, then.
Isn't this perfect?
I love it.
I love his first post on TikTok. Explore the world of Bob Dylan now on TikTok. I mean, he's been waiting for this to happen. He sits around and goes, everybody's doing that? All right, I'm going to wait till it gets shut down, and I'll hop in right at the last minute. He's the guy who's forever jumping on the Titanic right as the last lifeboat is filled with people.
I mean, some people talk the talk. That would be me, because I was joking about it earlier. I thought it was a silly little joke. Hey, I'm just opening a TikTok account right before they shut her down. But Bob Dylan, he walks the walk. He did it. Attaboy.
I mean, the last 20 years, we've come up with the term internet troll. He's a human life troll. He's been trolling us since the early 60s, for crying out loud.
If you've been to enough Bob Dylan shows, and I've been to at least 8 Bob Dylan shows over the years, he likes to, he plays that dance with the crowd. You figure out real quick what kind of mood he's in. I think that goes back to when he went electric. He went on the road. He was getting booed. Like you said, the tickets sell out within an hour, and then they just show up to boo me and call me Judas. He started something back in the day that's, I don't know, just been a beautiful cat and mouse with the audience and the public in general. Attaboy, Bobby.
Yeah, I think he recognized very early on, it doesn't matter what I do or say, they're just going to think I'm this way. So I'm just not going to involve myself in whatever I do. Like, here we are talking about the things he does. He did a Victoria's Secret ad 20 some years ago out of nowhere, and I looked at that. I was like, what is happening? What am I watching? Completely crazy. Hey, morning shout out to Medicine Lake. Glad to have you with us, Medicine Lake. What's going on out there? You better be bundling up, because I imagine Medicine Lake's about to get it pretty hard from the old Mother Nature. We all are.
It's not Medicine Lake, but I was thinking of Medicine Lake because you've got a little city out there, people out there doing their ice fishing, and of course we got some great ice out there now. But my buddy Mark texted me earlier. He goes, "Hey, don't be a whip, Zepp. Come on out ice fishing with me this weekend." Yeah, Mark, you have a 21-foot luxury fish house with shag carpet and 2 TVs. That is not roughing it. Medicine Lake, I'll see you again in the spring for those bike trails up there. Amazing bike trails around Medicine Lake. Good morning.
All right, good morning. And as we just hinted and tipped our hand, number 1 on your top 5 at 9, get ready for the cold, man, because it's coming. The word Siberian air mass always sends a chill up my spine, quite literally and figuratively. We're looking at major wind chills are going to be down. We're going to be looking at 20 below Saturday night through next Tuesday or Wednesday. With that wind, it'll be 20 below. Northern Minnesota, 40 to 50 below zero. It's going to just be extremely cold. Load up on whatever you need if you don't want to experience that cold weather yourself. And I know Minnesotans are used to this, but 20, 30 below zero, there's no being used to that. That's be careful, because if you slip and fall, you're going to die.
I used to go out skiing and that kind of, exactly. And I used to go out skiing and that stuff occasionally, and I go, oh, that's right, this isn't any fun. I'm not proving anything. And by the way, when you go out and do that kind of crap, the 8 buddies that are on the text thread going, I'll see you guys there, one will show.
Liars.
Yeah, sure.
All liars. Look, we're going to go really below zero Saturday night. Sunday morning when you get out of the rack, and this is going to last through Monday. We're going to stay sub-zero with about 10 to 15 mile-an-hour winds out of the northwest. Oof. It's going to be pushing 20 to 40 degrees below zero out there. So playoff football, baby.
Love it.
Oh, yeah.
Love it all. Who's in the playoffs? I'm sorry. They're still playing? That's weird. I thought the season ended.
Steelers and the Vikings looking good this weekend.
Well, that's an all-time
What are you
classic.
laughing about, Motor City Kitty? There it is.
She's been waiting all day just to throw the lion roar.
Saturday night.
You damn straight.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.